Wherever you are, you can always come back to yourself through the threads of your breath. Taking a deep inhale into the safe space of your belly, deep below the navel if you can. Stretch it open. Let it relax your pelvic bowl and your hips. And exhaling, letting it all out through your nose, slowly. Once again, a deep inhale, very long and slow. Deep below the navel, into the hips, loosening the pelvic bowl and the thigh joints. And exhaling long and slow, emptying out the lungs, stabilizing your mind in the rib cage. Let it all empty out through the rib cage, down into the space below the navel. One more inhale in, all the way below the navel, really deep one there. Let the spine really feel the relaxation, the quietude, and the tranquility that's washing over you right now and entering into you. Let your mind come into the space below the navel and become a singular point. It can be almost like a pearl. Stabilize it there. Hold your breath. Release your personality. Release any of your thoughts. Who you are, what you're here for, all of that, release it here. And let the chi naturally generate itself, condensing and allowing the body to open. It all will happen naturally. No force, no control needed. And then exhaling once again. This time with the exhale, let the exhale really empty out the lungs. Empty the sternum. And you can feel the rib cage opening if you're doing it right. Your mind in the center of your rib cage. Rib cage is just relaxing and opening with the letting go. Very natural as you stabilize your mind, as you steady and still the mind here. And then we're going to pull that gentle liquid mind into the space between the shoulder blades and place your mind there, stabilize it, let it be there, no personality, no thought of who you are, what you are. Simply allow that gentle steadiness to be there between the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in here. Steady stillness sweeping over you and into you. And as you exhale, let it ripple out through your shoulders, your shoulder blades, all the way, releasing and opening up the front of your chest and the back all the way. Let it just really be natural. And continue to let it rise up to the atlas at the base of your skull, at the atlas. Breathe in. And breathe out, exhale, and let that space open. Stabilize, let the breath be very steady and long. Coming now to the third eye, the space between the brows. Just allow yourself to become aware of the presence of the nerve endings and every cell that is here. And let your eyes slowly relax and soften completely. You can keep the eyes open or closed, whatever that feels good for you, but let the physical eyes completely go. And your third eye will come into full presence very naturally. And turn the light inside of your head. And at the beginning, you may feel that you're perceiving the inside of your head, that you're in the head. This is a very normal orientation of the mind when you place the mind there. But I want you to find that stillness. Let the mind completely light up the space and bring your essence forward. Bring your divine light to the forefront so that your personality, your name, your identity will completely be released and only your essence remains. This is the presence beyond space and time. Beyond this body, beyond this head. And if you are listening to me with headphones, simply allow the power of your imagination to hear me throughout your entire body. Because sometimes with headphones, the voice, the reverberation is only concentrated in the head. We want the waves of the voice and the sound to reverberate through your entire body and through your entire auric field as well. This is very important. Don't just stay in the head. Really let your essence take hold of you completely. Let the essence rise and emerge. So in this existence, in this presence, you are breathing and not breathing. You are being breathed. You are beyond space and time. Really feel every part of you, every cell contains the pure potentiality of the entire cosmos. That you can be anything. That anything you are is already existing within that very cell, in every cell that reverberates within you. Very good. Slowly and gently allow yourself to open your eyes. Put your hands together, rub them, and then massage your kidney just in the lower back 3 times. And let me know how you're feeling, what came up for you, as we'll slowly come into today's transmission, which is all about the cosmos in a bowl. How are you? Who's here? Please say hello. It would be so nice to just connect with your energy. All right. Okay. Yes. And also, if you want to, you can also just give yourself a hug. Rub your arms, your shoulders, even your face, your thighs. Just bring yourself into the body as light conjures the body, right? Spirit is descending into the physicality all the time. And so we want all of that to be in alignment. We want the mind, the body, and the spirit to be all in alignment, that they are not working as separate agents, that they are actually properly speaking with each other. And it's not like they have not been, it's just that so much of what we are doing is really very head heavy. And we tend to forget that we're more than the head. We're more than the logical mind. We're more than our memories that are stored up in the nervous system. We're more than a survival mechanism, right? And I think today is a good time to have a longer conversation about this. And the basis of it really is that this is our week 3 of what I call the Chadao for the multidimensional journey. For the uninitiated, if you're new here, please let me know. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you know or don't know what Chadao is. What I would say is that my name is Li Ying. If this is your first time, welcome. I always forget to introduce myself. I haven't done so in the past 2 weeks, I realized, but all good. I'm just here. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit here, so bear with me if you've been with me. And Chadao itself really literally means the way of tea. And Dao itself is the way. Yeah, and cha is tea. And it will be so important for me to be honest with you to say that Tao is so hard to explain. It's literally something that cannot be explained. If it is explainable, I would say it's because there is a certain truth that is coming from my perspective. It could come from my belief system. It could come from my cultural references. It could come from my even maybe religious context that I have picked up along the way of my spiritual journey. So it's only one part of the great truth. And this is what makes Tao so fascinating, because Tao really encompasses everything and nothing. And if we are to look at the cosmos, if we're to look at firstly the cosmos, and also to see how it is reflected in us and how we are literally a reflection of the cosmos, it's really important to first and foremost say this, which is we are infinite. We are eternal souls. And to live in a finite physical life, as we are speaking here in this dimension, those limits, as we call it, the limitations such as, the context of being a human is that I won't be able to fly like a bird. Like I'm not going to live like a bird, right? And I'm not going to live like a bee either, because my context is I'm a human being. And within that context, I have limits. And the limits is I will probably not sprout wings and fly, or I will not be giving birth to eggs, for example, right? So within the context, we can see that we do have limits. And it's important to understand that even though we are also infinite at the same time, we are operating within a context of this dimension that we're sitting in right now, the 3D, right? But to be infinite is to know that we operate in multiple dimensions. It's not just this dimension. And in different dimensions, you will have a different form or no form. So the Tao itself encompasses all of that, all the different dimensions, all the different iterations that you could be, whether it's a vibration or an energy or a color or a spectrum of light or whatever it is. The reason we can see color, like I am wearing a pink lipstick, but you may see it as red. And even the color pink and red are not really real because it's just a reflection of the light. And so it's really important to understand that whatever I speak about here today is a fraction of the truth. It's an aspect of the great capital T truth. And I love saying this. I say this a lot to my clients is that, and it's so freeing, which is multiple truths can coexist at the same time. And it is especially true in this dimension. If we can just take a step back and look at how the Tao itself was a unified field of infinite potentiality, but it cannot see itself because of that. So it had to create a partner. It had to create a light to start to see a reflection of itself. And from there, the fragmentation started to happen, and more were birthed from each fragmentation. And so how do we find harmony? How do we find peace if we are living in a time now where we are seeing more fractures than ever, when we are seeing more chaos than ever? Is that really true? Like that narrative, we have to really contemplate that. Is that really true? And conversely, we have to also contemplate the narrative of, are we really living in a time where there is a great shift, quote unquote, happening? Or are we just sensationalizing the life that we're living in now? Yeah. So we're going to explore all of that from the bowl that we're going to talk about, because this bowl that I speak of, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to show you. I've got it here. This bowl that I speak of is a very important vessel that we use in a tea ceremony. And I am, if you're uninitiated, if this is your first time here, I am a tea ceremonial wisdom keeper, tea ceremonialist, whatever you want to call it. I'm not very good at fitting into labels fully, to be honest. So she was rooted in a place where we know of as China today. And the reason why I find ceremony so powerful is because without using psychedelics, without using entheogens, we are able to really traverse the cosmos within a bowl. What does that mean? On a very earthly basis, we are literally looking at something that was fired up by fire. And if you know, this is made with earth. It's made with clay, right? Fire was the very first thing that, so I don't know if you're on Instagram, can you let me know if you can see me and hear me? Because I keep seeing, that it's popping in and out. But if it is good, then it is good. If you're on, Insight Timer as well, if you can see me, please let me know as well. Like, I just want to make sure that the internet is all good. So if you can still hear me on Instagram, let me know. If you're an Insight Timer, let me know. I keep seeing things like popping in and out. So I just want to make sure that it's all good. Okay, perfect. Jessica, April, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's continue. So on an earthly basis, this is what we're holding. We're holding life in our hands. But more than that, we're holding the entire mandala that connects us to what we know of as our ancestors, and also those who come after us. This is an entire universe in such a multidimensional way. On the earthly basis, like I said, we are looking at something that was created by fire and clay, and we're also looking at what goes in there, which is the tea. And the tea itself carries within it the essence of the sunlight, the moonlight, the starlight, the raindrops, the minerals, every single history, every single vibration that it carries is right here when we are honoring tea in that way. So what's important to mention here when I speak about Cha Dao for the multidimensional woman is that I was actually walking through a beautiful temple in Japan, and at that time I was already serving. I was already working with women, working as a mentor, a spiritual mentor. And when I was there, I was called to really go on a pilgrimage to find the first temple that carried the seeds from China to Japan. And the transmission I had when I was sitting there and touching the leaves and almost like literally it was so empty. It was just me and my sister right there. The quietness actually that surrounded us really spoke to me and said to me that you have to share the story of tea through the voice of a multidimensional woman. And as you know that, tea has been written about for thousands of years, and there's nothing really that has been said through the voice of a woman. And I've been quite lucky because when I was in Japan, I met a woman who did the tea and grew organic tea. I've been very fortunate on the path of tea to meet women who actually are on the ground growing the tea. So that is all to say that, I am literally somebody who is more like a storyteller rather than someone who is literally in the fields, in the farm, in the leaves, like being with the plants, more than I would love to. One day I'm really sending this forward is that I get to really live somewhere that is closer to source. But right now it feels like the calling is very pure and clear that I am to work with tea in a very spiritual and very multidimensional way. And with all reverence to the farmers, all reverence to the artisans, all reverence to the people who really work with the leaf in a very physical way as well. Now, this is something I just want to make very, very clear. So when we are coming together to talk about Cha Dao for the multidimensional woman, it's important to also share a little bit about what your idea of a bowl is. Yeah, I'm going to continue to share. I would love to hear what you feel. But a bowl itself, in China, this is actually literally a shape of the writing Xin, which is heart in Chinese. In Chinese, we have this word Xin. I wish I could show you. Maybe I could do it. I can probably write it down here so you can see it. Bear with me. Okay, let's see if I can show it to you. Right. Can see it? Yeah. This is a word that means heart. So we cannot speak about Cha Dao without speaking about the heart. Now, the heart is actually very interesting because how lost humanity has become when all regards to the heart. And it's a very unfortunate case, but also I believe that is happening because we're being called to return to the heart and to return to the spiraling, non-linear movement of life as it is. You know, humanity has come through a long way. We are actually living in a time where we're able to access this knowledge, and there's all amounts of information without any like if you really just put a little bit of that keyword into Google, like you can find so much stuff, right? Like, you know this. But what about the verbal transmission? What about the heart-to-heart transmissions? Yeah. This is the part where I really want to share with you. And I'm by no means demeaning or devaluing anything that you have been experiencing or going through. What I really want to do as I draw this out is I really want you to become aware of how much more depth you can literally go into. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. So one of the things that I personally find is most transformational is stillness. When we talk about the heart, first thing we have to understand is that a lot of hearts are closed. Yeah. You know, we have come to a point where we have all these amazing new age knowledge, spirituality that we talk about manifestation. Everyone comes from a good place, right? Like you have a good intention when you want to learn about manifestation, when you want to learn about how to have a better life, more aligned life, like all of these things. I know you're coming from a good place. But hi, I'm Amelie Chadao. Have you missed the first part? I was just explaining about Chadao. Right. So I'm just going to continue and then we can circle back. We'll any questions, please feel free to ask and I'll definitely answer. So most hearts are closed. And it's important to really acknowledge that, because how do we know that the heart is closed? How do we know that? Well, firstly, we are already, the most obvious sign is that we're living according to a calendar that is not in sync with how the planet itself is moving. It does not celebrate solstice. It does not celebrate equinox. Most of the world is operating on a Roman calendar. And that means that we don't have regard for how the moon is shifting, what phase of the moon it is in. And most of our body is composed of water. So it's highly affected by how the moon is shifting. But we don't have any knowledge of that. That's not taught in school. It's perhaps maybe it's common knowledge among us because we're in this, right? We're in the spiritual study and work, right? But truthfully, how many of us actually understand how much of a cosmic nature, a cosmic force of nature we truly are? Not a lot of us know that. And so what that means is that the rhythm of our heart operating today is completely out of tune with the original rhythm that we're meant to be in harmony with. And your heart can be beating a lot faster, for sure. Yeah. You will probably be constantly in a rush. You will probably be impatient. You will probably be like, there's so much stuff I need to do. I don't have enough time to do it. All of these things are very obvious signs that we are out of tune. We are out of harmony with the cosmic cycle. Yeah. And then we can go even deeper into societal issues, right? We can talk about how, even in the feminine, the idea of beauty is completely, distorted. The idea that we have to fix ourselves or change our appearances, or the idea that beauty has to be a certain way, and the idea of aging. All of these things are signs that We are out of touch with the rhythm, the real rhythm, the origin of rhythm. And so our hearts have closed up because we needed to survive in this new rhythm. And more than anyone else, I feel that women have felt this, have really felt the negative effects of it more than anyone else. And please breathe. For centuries, and I want to say this not to be a victim of it, but to really honor it and see how far we've come. The truth is that for centuries, we have been cast in the light of being completely at the lower end, right? We took the shorter side of the stick, right? So many women had to fight for their rights. Only a few years, maybe it was in the 50s, I can't remember now, that we couldn't even open a bank account without a man to approve, our husband to approve of it. And we have come a long way. 1973, Jennifer, thank you. Look, not far. I mean, that's not too long ago. And so I come from a Chinese background in this lifetime. And how many lifetimes have I felt this way of just being completely persecuted, right? But I really feel that we are the dream that our ancestors dreamt of. And we hold a lot of keys in our hands today, but very few of us actually know how to use the keys. And please breathe. If we close our hearts to our infinite potential, if we close our hearts, and not because you're doing it intentionally, it's just that you have been born with the sets of limitations that I spoke of at the beginning. So that dams your river of light. Yeah. It's like the banks of the river that has to hold your river in the context of your birth, in the context of who you are. If we continue to limit ourselves and push the limits closer and closer, and we become narrower and narrower, our hearts continue to close and close and close, and it remains closed, then we will never be open to the transformation, to the alchemy that we are here for. And please breathe. One of the most magical things that happens when you allow your heart to open is that you will start to have multiple perspectives from within you, not from outside of you. You will start to see things from an eagle eye. You will not be just stuck on your own perspective and your inner critic's perspective, your ego, aka personality, whatever you want to call it. And you can actually draw from that divine perspective and see what the whole lay of the land really is. And that is very important, because that is when you do not see that your limits are here to cut you down. You actually see that the limits are literally belief systems, and belief systems can change all the time, anytime. And our work is to actually really open our hearts up, to open our hearts up, to stop seeking, to stop chasing, to stop controlling, and dare I say it, to stop even blaming. Because our job is taking all of that, all of the things that we have experienced, and actually integrate that. It's kind of like taking it in, digesting it, making it your own, and bringing that light out into the world. You are the alchemical field. And that's how the cosmos continues to expand. That's how the great mandala effect continues to expand, and the fractals continue to multiply and continue to multiply into the infinite. So to start off to talk about Cha Dao, it's important to understand that, T herself has multiplied herself in infinite ways. She started her life in China, what we know of as China today, yes, but she's everywhere. And she's being used in all the different ways, in ceremony, in a matcha latte, in your grandmother's teapot. She adapts. She just really wants to be with humans. And there is something really, really, really beautiful for sure when you are relaxing and you're having tea, you're chatting, you're with friends, you're having tea, you're with your grandmother and you have tea. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But when we are in a ceremony with tea, we are being in a place where we are in reverence to the plant. And what happens when you communicate in that way with the plant? Hi, my love. Welcome. What happens? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Who else is here? Say hello, please. But let me keep going. What happens when we're in reverence to a plant? The plant starts to open up to us, and the plant starts to give us. She gives us transmissions. She gives us all the things as an ally will be giving. And in this universe, everything is very harmonious. When one thing gives, you will receive. And when you give, that thing will receive. Conversely, when I give, I also receive the same value and the same amount. And I know a lot of you are here saying, I give and I give and I give and I give and I don't get anything back. What the hell? I'm over giving. And if that's one of you, please take a deep breath. Now, I want you to really hear this. Say it with lots of love, but really tough love. What are you actually really giving? What is the vibration behind what you're giving? You say you give out of love, but you're giving more frustration, giving out of frustration, giving out of pain, giving out of obligation. Then what you're giving is exactly that: frustration, pain, obligation, wrapped up with a present paper of love, but it's not real. And what you get back is exactly the same thing. And another thing I always say to my clients is that you don't necessarily receive back from the same person you gave to. You don't. It can come from anywhere, but is your heart open to it? As women, it's so hard to receive, right? And here's the thing, like, because of that, the survival mechanism is when I get something, when I receive something, I'm going to just keep it. I'm going to hoard it. I'm going to play safe. And the society encourages it, right? The society is always saying like, oh, save for rainy days, like insure your life, and the most incredible thing is that I remember thinking even when I was young, since I was young, I always questioned it. It's like, okay, you want to insure your life. So are you literally saying that something bad is going to happen to you when you do that? It's so interesting how we are saving up for our death, our funeral plot, when we could be living. And I'm not just saying saving up money. I'm saving energy. I'm saving my heart. Yeah. Not willing to give love before I see something tangible. Not willing to open my heart up before I see something tangible because I've been hurt so many times. Right? It's like I give and I give and I give. It's the same vibration, my loves. You get to be your own powerhouse, your own energy, your own vibration, your own love, your own rock, your own ground, own anchor. You get to be that, and you have to be, because there is nothing else outside of you. As the grand cosmos itself, everything else around you is literally a feedback system, and they flow in harmony with you, your context, your vibration, your energetic matter. So to simplify it, what I mean is that if you see people in your life, it's because they are at your level of vibration. If people are being released from your life, they're not in the vibrational bracket of where you are. As simple as that. Like, I can simplify it by saying that way. So that is the law of correspondence. You can only see what you are within you. Ifechuku is saying, wow, I've been caught in this conundrum. I want to share my gifts and I feel so extracted from. I keep waiting to figure out how I can get back before giving, and it's causing me to feel constipated. Yeah, I was just about to get there. I was about to just say, you will be constipated physically. Yeah. And some of you may even just shit it out. It'll be waste. It'll become waste. You know, all the great ideas you have, that you get the downloads from the divine and you don't use it because you're so scared of being judged. Eventually it becomes shit. Flush down the toilet. Go somewhere else. Fertilizes some other people's soil. It's so simple. And I want to say something about being, you know, the fear of being extracted from. And it's by no means, I'm not discounting that you are experiencing it. However, I will say, as a woman of color as well, I completely know how you feel. I had to really release that perspective that I am being extracted from. And please breathe. I had to release the perspective that I can be extracted from. I have to release that perspective because that is poisoning for me. And please breathe. It can be an experience because I am meant to digest it and integrate it so that I can come out and speak about what it feels like and how I can release that perspective because I have experienced it, or my ancestors have experienced it. But it is not limiting me. I am not letting it limit me. It's not stopping me from coming on live, giving this for free. It's not standing in the way of me from sharing my heart, from, you know, talking about things that I may think, if I'm still in that idea of, oh, I'm going to be extracted, I may think, okay, this needs to be gate kept. This needs to be something that's completely off the books, unless somebody is giving to me, right? And there are certain things that will be for an advanced level in that sense, right? Not like a hierarchical way, but advanced meaning your mind has been prepared to receive more. But we are at the stage as we sit here today, right now, like if I'm at a stage where I have to explain to you what is Cha Dao, then we're not going to be going into deeper stuff yet. So it's all about timing. It's all about perspectives. It's all about willingness as well. Yeah. Willingness to be wrong, willingness to be free, willingness to be right, willingness to be loved, willingness to be loved. All of these things are not opposites. They are literally on the same spectrum of consciousness, actually. This very, very deep fear of having our hearts hurt is on the same spectrum of what Ifechuku is saying here. The fear of being extracted. It's the same thing. How many of you can really say that your heart is open? Open to adventures, open to the unknown, open to miracles. And by the way, you are a miracle. There is no real separation. You are open. Your heart is open to be led by spirit, by your soul. How many of you can truly say that? And by the way, your heart can continue to open. It's incredible how open it can continue to be. And I want to say this very honestly with you as well. I've walked this path for 5 years now. And I'm a very different woman than the woman who started to do this. Today, I can really say that I do not seek. I started out really seeking to learn, seeking to understand, seeking to all of these things, like all the teachings, all the lessons, all the techniques, the tools and stuff. But what I realized through the process is it's actually a lot simpler than we all really think it is. And the real power lies in having the ability to attune to your inner guide. And it is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy because we have all the filters of our traumas, the filters of our ancestors, the filters of societal belief systems. I can literally turn on my Instagram and I will be like face planted with thousands of crazy ideas and you should do this and you shouldn't do that in seconds. And our minds can get so confused. But in that confusion, there is a seed of light that is actually your inner guide. And the ultimate work is actually to reconnect with that inner guide. And I think what I have witnessed through time working with people, with beautiful women, is that it can be fucking scary to work with that inner guide because a lot of times it doesn't look like what you have seen before. And one of the most crazy thing is that you are so afraid to have the limits removed, because that means your river becomes the ocean. That's why the ego or the personality will continue to set limits around you that bars you from actually accessing your divinity, the divine essence, which is that ocean. Yeah, Jennifer says it very well with a line from Auntie Mam. Is it Auntie Mammy? And it says, life is a banquet and most poor sons of bitches are starving to death. The meaning is simple but sharp. Life is expansive, full of experience, possibility, texture, and people often restrict themselves through fear, habit, or conditioning until they only take small, safe portions of it. Is it Jeanette? Thank you for sharing your knowledge this morning. Thank you, Janet. I really hope that you don't just take it as knowledge. I really hope that you take it as a full body transmission to really feel it move through your entire being. We are here living in a life where we are behind screens most of the time. It's not just your telephone screen, it's your car, it's where you're hiding behind something and you have a navigation system that tells you where to go and what to do. In your heart, hardly comes into play. You let your schedule dictate your day. You let other people dictate your day. Your heart doesn't come into the equation when it comes to what should I be doing today? Who can I be today? And when I was saying that life is actually a lot simpler when your consciousness is higher, when you actually see the cosmos in a bowl, you realize that the higher your consciousness is, the more you realize that actually everything is not real. That I am actually a nobody. That I'm an eternal soul. And sometimes this really scares the shit out of the personality and the ego. Because especially if you're one of those who come in and listen to me and then you're realizing that and then you're thinking, if I stop seeking, if I stop chasing, does that mean that I have no more purpose? Like, what am I here for? Who am I? Right? But can we open up to the possibility that we never came here to be working to death? We never came here to be working for others, to forget our dreams, that we never came here to just work and then go to bed and then wake up and do the same thing over and over again. We never signed up for that. If we knew that we are this ocean of starlight, the ocean of starlight literally is within us. It is us. It created this body that you are carrying forward in this world. Then who would you be today, in this moment? What will you be doing? Can you take a moment to really let that settle in and ask yourself that question and be very honest? Doesn't have to be all the good things your ego thinks is good. It can be also the bad things your ego thinks is bad. It can be I don't want to be doing anything. I just want to be lying in the sun all day. Your ego may think that is bad, but trust me, if you allowed yourself to do that, if you allowed yourself to come into decadence into luxury, into whatever your mind thinks is a bad thing, quote unquote, you will start to actually get back into your creator's seat, the seat of the creator of your life. And imagination is your superpower. Imagination is every human being's God-given power. And you will start to create instead of survive. That is living as the cosmos. That is living in harmony with the cosmos. How long will you be allowing yourself to be suppressed by some phantom hand? That phantom hand can be anything. It can be what's happening in the society. It can be your fears, your age-old fears, your years-old fears. It can be your ancestors. It can be your mother. It can be your father. It can be your belief system. It can be so many fucking things. And then you die. And you know, to be very, very honest, since we're on this trajectory, lots of you also give your power away to what we call money. So if you are a woman who knows that you are destined to live a life unconventional, who will you be today? What kind of decisions will you make today? Can we take away the limits or widen the river? Right? Limits are here in a good way, in a healthy way. They define our identity. It gives us an identity, right? Not all of us can live in a way where we're completely fluid and, you know, coming from a personal point of view, like I am doing work that requires me to access nothingness, to be completely emptied so that transmissions and divinity can move through me. I can be an oceanless ocean, for sure. But maybe for you today, it's not just that yet, but can you move your limits a little bit bigger? Let your river flow again. Let your channels open. Let your heart open to receive something of a surprise. Let the universe surprise you today. Can you make a decision today as the woman that you know you are? That whether it is to invest in your expansion, in mentorship, whatever it is, can you be the one to make that decision and follow through? Right? Ifechuku here is saying, true, I'm also scared that sharing will attract attention and it will throw me back into overworking. I've deconstructed success and I'm scared I'll get overtaken by ambition. Well, one thing I'm sensing from you is there's a lot of distortion around what ambition is and what success can be. And if I can give you an invitation here, Ifechuku, is can you redefine success for yourself? Can you redefine ambition for yourself? And in the redefining, it's so important for you to actually begin, before you even do that, to begin actually to deconstruct the ideas and the beliefs that someone else conditioned into you about what success is and what ambition is, not from a blaming place, but actually from a place where you can see that, oh, because my mother gave me this idea of success, now I can see that actually success can be something else. And maybe someone else gave you the idea of success that you can aspire to, a quality that you don't have just yet, that you see in someone else, then you can put that in too. It's like, okay, I can see that success can be this way. I would love to have her success. Everything lines up. Yeah. the universe is always working in harmony. Like it needs to harmonize. So if there's somewhere that you have an idea that you deem bad, that you're hiding, you can be sure that you are also hiding your light in equal measure. That is why exactly what you said is that I'm scared that sharing will attract attention, but then you want the attention. And then you think that it will throw you back into overworking. So you're not doing any work or not doing the work that you want to be doing. Right? I'm scared I'll get overtaken by ambition. Again, pulling back. On the other end is pulling back, but then on the other end is the idea of ambition. Can you see? Can we be free? Who are you if you're free? Completely free to express, completely free to transcend good and bad. That is your essence. And the more you can channel your essence, the more you can tap into your essence. That is when you are so rooted in yourself, that you are so rooted into you, what we all call the higher self, that all of us will be walking as divinity on legs. Can we see this? Can we see how powerful that is? Not just taking small, safe portions of life. Like, thank you very much. Sorry, here's my little bit here. And then in the corner, you're like, I give and give and give and give. And nobody cares. Can we see? Like, everything is actually the same spectrum, just on a different end, different side of it. Right? So when I was able to see this, and let me just grab my water because I'm thirsty. Like, can all of you be on the same wavelength with me here? Is anyone lost? Like, someone's not following through? Like, what's going on here? Let me know. When I was given that transmission in Japan, that I am to share the story of tea through the voice of a multidimensional woman, it wasn't just about tea, but it was a lot also about my personality, who couldn't let go of the idea that I will be dishonoring my lineage, the teachers who taught me tea, and all the big giants of sages and all the people who wrote about tea. My personality couldn't get over herself. And so it took me a while to actually get into a place of like, I mean, Ife Chuku has been in my space before. She's been in Chadao for the Multidimensional Woman, and she's had that pleasure of being with me and learning. And that was just like such a small aspect of what the whole is. And tea has moved as, you know, at the beginning when I was sharing tea, a lot of times I was just saying like, I'm the vessel, I'm letting tea to move through me. So I was kind of like a medium. And then eventually when I started to hear that tea wants me to take back my power, to really be the voice, to actually be here as well, then I realized that tea actually just wants to be my ally. And this is the work that I'm meant to be doing, that she assisted me through all my healing. And then I came to a point where she knows that I'm ready now. And that it needed to deconstruct so much stuff. Like, I really had to break down a lot of my beliefs. You know, putting a lot of things on pedestal and just kind of like realizing that I need to break the pedestal. And that is why I said that in my 5 years of doing this work as a guide and a mentor, I realized that actually a lot of stuff out there is really coming from a place of still seeking. And my work is actually to bring you to a place where you no longer seek. To find that quietude that can relax you into presence, meaning I don't desire to be anywhere else, but here I can fully be here. And then from presence, stillness can arise. And what does stillness actually mean? Stillness is a vortex that you access multidimensional truths in. Stillness is the Tao. Stillness is divinity. So we can throw around the words very cheaply these days. Yes, stillness in sound baths, stillness in ceremony, stillness in the cacao, whatever. But what I mean when I speak about stillness is divinity. It's something that emerges only when you are in full presence. At the beginning, I took you through an activation. That is a very short version of how deep we can already go. To the innermost temple where you meet the divine that is within you. Tea has a power to stand within our lives beyond practices, beyond what your inclinations are, religious or spiritual. It's always there because it is a plant that carries the entire DNA of what we know of as nature and the cosmos. Heaven on earth. As above, so below. Doesn't matter if you have a meditation practice, doesn't matter if you like cacao, doesn't matter if you love psychedelics, doesn't matter. It just is. And it is part of all the mentorship work that I do. Yes. But also, when you come in to work with me, you're getting a perspective, an illumination, an energetic shift, circuits of light flowing again. Because you have limits. We all have limits. I have my mentors to help me. It will be completely hubristic and arrogant of me to say, I have no one to guide me. I'm just born this way and I know everything. I have allies. I have a plant ally who carries the pure codes. I have mentors who I can talk to, that I can ask questions, and then I realize, oh, actually, I want to do it another way. Cool. I can have conversations with peers, and I can realize a lot of things that I didn't see before. This is why it's so important to be with people that you are a vibrational match with. How can we expect to change our life if we are surrounded by people that are not vibrating at the level that we are? If you have people in your life that you know that is not nourishing you, you have to have the courage to step away from those people. It just is how life is going to be. If you cut yourself off someone through pain, through escape, through just like, I just want to be done with that. And you never dealt with why you let yourself be treated that way. This will continue to come back in your life energetically in a different form. So the work of forgiveness, the work of elevating your consciousness is not for anyone else. It's for you. You harmonizing with the cosmos is the way to live in freedom. Not resisting, not forcing, just in harmony. Simple, right? Not easy, but simple to understand. And yet, most of humanity has forgotten that we're meant to be living in that way. We're living according to a Roman calendar that everything is set in stone. Like, it has to be this day. Today we collect the taxes. Today we have to have school holidays. Today we have bank holiday. Like, as women, our feminine power was meant to awaken the earth. Together with the earth, we are bound. Actually, we're not separate. But more than anything else, the feminine is literally in resonance with the soul of the earth. You know, in ancient times, our blood was the sacrament for earth. Our blood awakened the earth. Every month, we devoted our blood to the earth. And now, women mostly hate their menstruation. They hate the fact they have menstruation. They don't understand the beauty of menstruation. And we get so lost in aging. We get so lost because we fear death and age. And elderly don't know how to be an elderly. And girls are lost because they don't have the guidance of the elders. And elders are being cast away by the young as inconvenience. All of these things are chain effects. And we get to stop this when we decide, when we say, no more. I am going to live in harmony with the cosmos. I am going to be the cosmos. I am the cosmos. So this isn't just about Cha Dao. This isn't about transcending this dimension. This is about everything that you are in all dimensions. Every decision you make will ripple through all the dimensions. If we can all find that presence again and let that stillness emerge through us. Can you imagine? I always see this in my vision. Women upon women with stillness emerging through them like a toric field. And we are walking together in this great mandala all across the world, no matter where we are. So So take a deep breath and know that you are the path to your essence. You can say that within yourself, I am the path to my essence. The final thing I would say is, if there's anything I can say about Cha Dao, it is always this. My teachers always say to me, to be natural is the way of tea. To be completely effortless. To flow effortlessly. To be open to flow effortlessly. That is the way of tea. But to flow effortlessly, it's like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy for the ego and the personality. And so, if you resonate with this, let me know. Give me a sign. Give me a hell yes. Give me a heart, whatever it is. I would love that. Thank you. And I would love to invite you to join my wait list for a new group that I'm opening soon. I'm gathering interest. I'm in a place now where, honestly, I'm moving through a void as well, where I want to really move in a way that is not dictated by a strategy or whatever way of doing business. So I have a wait list for a new group called Multidimensional Woman. If there are more women coming in who are expressing interest, it can happen. Then let's do it. I also have space for one-to-one consultations ceremonially. So if that's for you, please let me know as well. Yes, Ipechuku. I have broken down all of the structures that no longer serves me. And a lot of people can call it crazy and unrealistic. And I have definitely gone through a time of deep self-doubt and solitude for sure. But what I realize is that most people think it's a bad thing, but to me, it's the most liberating thing. And I genuinely want you to know that you get to have certainty in the unknown. You get to have certainty in the great vastness of knowing that you're divine, no matter what. And then we bring it, we walk on earth as that. Like, this is the time that we are all being asked to do this. So if any of this speaks to you, I would love to chat with you. You can always drop me a DM on Instagram. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions, anything that's coming up for you, please put that in now. Otherwise, I will complete the session for today. I'll give you a moment. I'm just going to put this back. Oh, all right. April is saying this is all brilliant and so empowering in so many ways. That's so cool. That's amazing. Thank you, April. Cindy, be still and know that I am God. Yes. Yes. Once again, so important to reiterate that my space is for all people, no matter what your spiritual inclinations, no matter what your religion, all of that gets to coexist in the tea space. And no religion either. Cool. You know, all good. This is where non-judgment really is embodied. Yeah. Ive Chukwu is saying, where do we find the waitlist? Just DM me, let me know waitlist. Just DM waitlist. and you will be informed when it comes up, when we are ready with all the details. And April saying, okay, so we should find you on Instagram, but the women's group, Multidimensional Woman, it's called. Yes, just DM me on Instagram, waitlist. Then I know that you are one of them. And then I will make sure you will get the information when it's ready to go. Yeah, it's a really special place where we get to really, I am so excited because I have a special artisan bowl created for this, and we're going to have tea, and we're going to explore the tea, and from the essence of the tea, we're going to explore the different emotions that you are working with, and we will walk together using tea as an ally and experiencing the depth of how can we work with our emotions to empower ourselves? How can we widen our belief limits, widen that, and in fact, eventually just release it. No more limits. Like that is what I wish for you. Okay. So the filters as well, like Ife Chuku said, taking the filters off and actually looking at life at how grand and vast and cosmic you truly are. Like all of the incredible things that your pure potentiality literally lives in you now. Like in every cell, you contain the entire universe. Like I'm not even like just saying it poetically. It's like, it's real. Like it's really there, right? So we don't want to waste any ounce of that. We want to integrate that, and integrating means embodying it, really bringing it out fearlessly, living fully. Jeanette, I would say Jeanette because I like Jeanette. Excellent class today. I found this very helpful today. Amazing to hear that. Sylvia, thank you so much. All right, my loves, I have been here long enough. I just want to say thank you so much for your love, for your devotion, for your integrity, for your reverence as well. You know, I just love that I have you here, whether it's on Instagram or Insight Timer. Like, thank you so much. Big love, Jeanette. Beautiful work. It brought me to tears. Yes, let your heart open. Really, when tears come, your heart is asking you to open. So let your heart open. Cindy, thank you. I am glad I attended. I'm glad you're here too, Jeanette. I truly am. More women with hearts open. Ifechuku, so much love to you. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us. I'm so glad. Thank you. I really mean it. I really take every word in. It's so precious. Thank you. All right, my loves. Mwah! Otherwise, I'll stay forever. All right. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.